Hello, in this video I would like to just talk about one of my favourite Brandon Lee figures, which is this one, which is from Hot Toys, and absolutely fantastic piece. Really stylish box with all the cast on the back, and then really artistic detail on the box. And then if we just open this up, you've got on the inside, you've got the round window from the loft apartment scene where he is brutally murdered, Brandon's character, and thrown out the window. But the window scene from the loft apartment is actually quite a strong part of the film, and it's quite a strong recognised connection from the movie. And then of course you've got the main figure, which this is how I like to stand him. You can pose him all sorts of positions, and he's got like a leather effect style jacket, his leather trench coat, or you can display him without it. Either way, it doesn't really matter which way you want to display him, but you've got all different poses. But this is the pose I like, where he's playing his guitar. But the detail on this is absolutely amazing. I've got a lot of like models, and the models that you make up and paint and that, which are really good, and you can put a lot of detail in them. But it is nice to have one that's already been made up, and the lightness on Brandon's face is absolutely amazing, and it looks literally just like him, and complete with his engagement ring. He's got there as well, just on his front there. He's got hung around his neck, and he's got the leather effect trousers. Really amazing. And he has different hands as well, so you can pose him in different positions. And also he comes with a bird as well, so you can just stand that next to him. So really cool piece to have. And there on the base it's got the crow and his character's name, Eric Draven. And yeah, so all the arms and the legs move, and you can stand him in lots of different positions. So absolutely really amazing piece. But it's one of the best crow figures I think that's come out on him so far. But there's always a surprise that they'll bring something else out and do something even better. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. And then just on from that, I just want to talk about a few things sort of like to do with the movie and the poetic sort of quotes from the film. As the film is very sort of poetic and it's got very strong meanings to the movie, and also when you listen to Sarah's quotes, that they're very strong, even though they're directly for the film and the characters and the Eric Draven character in the film. You can also get a hint that it's also maybe talking about Brandon Lee as well, as to his loss from the film. So for example, you've got Sarah, she says, a building gets torched, all that is left is ashes. I used to think that is true about everything. Families, friends, feelings. But now I know sometimes if love proves real, and two people are meant to be together, nothing can keep them apart. So there's a good strong connection there to Eric Draven's character in the film, with the total loss and despair. But also maybe is actually talking about Brandon Lee as well. Maybe it's not, but it's got very strong views on his character and who he was as a person. And then you've got the other quotes, the famous ones that Sarah comes up with at the end of the film, if the people we love are stolen from us, the way to have them live on is to never stop loving them. Buildings burn, people die, but real love is forever. So that's a good, strong point there to sort of remember somebody, and maybe we're hearing there a little hint with the loss of Brandon Lee, and that the people we love, that they'll be remembered and they live on forever. And then, of course, you've got the quote from the beginning of the film, which is very much directly about the crow and the bird. If people once believed, when someone dies, a crow carries their soul to the land of the dead, but sometimes something so bad happens that terrible sadness is carried with it, and the soul can't rest. And sometimes, just sometimes, a crow can bring that soul back to put the wrong things right. That's really strong, I think, really poetic, and just really, really good, really good. And then the other quote I wanted to talk about was the last one, which is on Brandon Lee's headstone, from Sheltering Sky, which is from a book, Sheltering Sky, which is another very strong sort of poetic meaning of the meaning of life, where Brandon, he says in his last interview, because we do not know when we will die, we get to think of life as an inexhaustible well, yet everything happens only a certain number of times, a very small number, really. How many more times we remember a certain afternoon of your childhood, an afternoon that is so deeply a part of your being that you can't even conceive of your life without it, perhaps 4 or 5 times more, perhaps not even that. How many more times we watch the full moon rise, perhaps 20, and yet it all seems limitless. So it's really, really strong, that we should never take life for granted, and live each day as, just live each day to the fullest, and maybe as if it was your last, because it's so important that we do as much as we can, and don't take it for granted, and have no regrets. And that was also the quote that was going to go on to Brandon Lee's wedding invitation when he was going to marry Eliza. So instead it ended up on his tombstone, which I'd actually been to see, and of course Bruce Lee's grave. So yeah, it's very sad, and but it's great to keep learning about Brandon Lee and the Crow and his films, and I just think it's really special what he did with this character. He really brought it to life and made it something very unusual and very unique. And then this figure is absolutely amazing. It's really something special. And they don't come cheap, actually. They're actually quite expensive. They vary in price, but this one came direct from China, so you could be paying a small fortune for it, but they are very, very highly sought after and very collectible. So thanks for watching this one, and look out for more videos soon. Thanks.